So I want to share with you my favorite book. It's called Where the Wild Things Are. And it's a story in pictures by Maurice Sendak. As a kid, I always liked this story because when I got angry, this is kind of who I was. And so I look at it now and I'm like, yeah, that still is a little bit like me when I get mad. Anyhow, let's read this book. Go look at the pictures. I love these pictures. I love that boat and the guy here. All right. It's like all these colors. As a kid, I'd look at the book and be like, I'd always get excited when I see these. I always kind of glanced over this page, but now as I'm bigger, I like it more. I like the way this is just sitting here by itself. It makes it kind of look like it's floating a little bit in the page. Pretty cool. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and Pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. There he is in his wolf suit. I used to have a jaguar suit. He's got a tent. There's a stool underneath the tent and a hanging bear. My mom would get mad at me if I did that to my wall for sure. He's doing mischief. There he is, chasing the poor dog with a fork. He's made a drawing of a monster. I bet he made that drawing. It says by Max. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, I'll eat you up. So he was sent to bed without eating anything. There he is in his room. He looks all unhappy. He's mad. He's got his suit on. He knows he's ready. And there he is in his bedroom all by himself. And the moon is high and the plant is growing by the window. And the door is closed. So he's all by himself. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. I love this one. I love how the trees just come out of the carpet and they join the couch or the bed, and it just becomes one piece of furniture. It's like having a hammock out in the wild. I always thought that was really cool. Then I like camping, so I always wanted to have a room like that. Look at that down here, and the plant's still there. I think the stars are a little different. I don't know. Oh, wow. And grew. And there he is. He knows he's up to something. He's got some mischief on his mind. He's getting happy and he's becoming playful. And his bed is almost gone and the plant has taken over the table and the door is disappearing. What's going to happen next? I don't know. Let's find out. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And this is what I like about this book. All of a sudden, we're in a different world. It's a different place. And Max is dancing there in the middle, under the moonlight with the stars. And there's flowers and there's grass. It's like he's free. He's not locked in that room anymore. He's whoever he needs to be at that time. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max. And he sailed off through the night and day. Look at that. Yeah, it's his boat. It has his name on it. And there's that tree again. This looks like we must be on the shore looking at him. I don't think the tree grows in water. And that water looks really cool. It's a little bit rough. The sky, the colors up here. I always like that. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And there he is. He's facing a dragon, blowing wind on his sails. Makes you kind of wonder. I mean, he looks a little scared. He can't control that wind and that dragon, but he's willing to face it. See that? I like this. His fluffy hair with the horns coming out. I mean, doesn't look all that menacing, but he's got horns and he's got big teeth, so it's kind of scary. And there he goes. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, They roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Look at that. There they are on the island. They look kind of funny. This guy's shirt. I think I had a shirt like that. He got that beard. And this guy, he's a lion. This one here has got long hair. Duck feet. Oh, I thought that was really funny. And here's Max. He does not look happy. He thinks, I don't know what he thinks. What could he be thinking? He's got a scowl on his face, like he's mad too. He's still mad, isn't he? He came off those rough waters. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. Look at that one, those coming out of the shadows. They're like, I like their faces. They're like so surprised, like, oh my goodness. And he's still mad. Look at that face. He has control and power over these wild things. And made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. So look at that. They made him king. And they're all like, yes, we have a king. They look happy and hopeful and bowing to him. And this guy's finally, he actually came out of the shadows to meet him. And this guy, look, he looks like a cockatoo or a rooster. Ah. And so they started dancing. And look at that. They're howling and jumping and playing and looking in the moon and the stars. This is probably, they're just having fun now. He doesn't seem too angry anymore. And now he's climbing up there. He's playing around. They're playing around. I don't know how mad he is anymore. Look at that. And they're kind of keeping an eye on each other over here. And they're playing and they're goofing off. And they got him on his back. And he's the king of the wild things. Because he's the wildest wild thing of them all. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We will eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." Look at that. He's getting on his boat. Look at that. Like, we'll be mean. Just stay with us. We'll be mean. You can be mean too. The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day. It was a long journey. Look at that. He looks calmer now. He doesn't look angry anymore. He seems not so angry. And into the night of his very own room, where he found supper waiting for him. Ah, look at that. He's taking his costume off. His supper's there. I wonder if his mom left it for him. Yeah. It's awfully nice of her mom, isn't it? And it was still hot. And that's where the wild things roam. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did.